What's good, everybody? It is Monday, May 29, 2023. This is, and I really mean this today, this is your daily sports betting brand of record. It's called The Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting. And it's not close. Memorial Day. It's a very, very special day for many people out there. So to all of you who have served, who have family members who have served, today's a very special day. And also, we value every single day. So when everybody else is taking the day off, everybody else is on vacation somewhere, not us. And what did we do yesterday? What did I tell you? It would be a bounce-back Sunday brunch. Absolute perfection for my crew. But you guys know them. They're never going to sit around and go, hey, I had a winning ticket on Sunday, because this is Monday, the end of our week. So I made a little call, a little ring-a-ding-ding, and I called up my absolute very best. Let's bring in the stars of the show. You know them. You love them. On a holiday, I'm getting this? Are you kidding me right now? Propstarz, the counselor, the maestro, and buckets? Stop it. Just stop it. Now, buckets, do you know the two greatest words in all of sports?
Of course, Coach.
Counselor,
you want me to?
No, it's too late. You missed the moment. Counselor, can you please tell me the two greatest words in sports?
Game 7.
Thank you. Game 7. Buckets. Educate and entertain one time. I didn't know it was going to be you today. Now, tonight, who would have thought it 6 days ago? But that's exactly what we have. Game 7. Thank you, Counselor. Here's what the numbers look like. The Celtics favored by 7. The total all the way down to 203.5. Can the Celtics become the first team in the history of the NBA to come all the way back from a 3-0 deficit? Well, let's talk about it. Counselor, you knew the answer. You get to go first. Are we fading or are we following the Celtics to cover the spread and make history tonight?
This is a really tough one because I think there's so many different ranges of outcomes here because of how the Heat might respond in Boston. Does Jimmy Butler have his legs? How healthy are the Miami Heat? For me, though, if I have to play this, it's going to be the Heat +7. So I'm going to be fading the Boston Celtics here. I think the Heat are live to win, but I do think it comes down to how well would Jimmy Butler plays. He has to have an elite game, which we know he's been doing. But I got to say, in Game 6, it just was very obvious something was wrong with Jimmy Butler. He didn't have the legs. Hopefully he can bounce back. But because I'm not 100% sure about it, it's kind of a stay away for me. But if I got to bet it, it's the Heat +7.
You want us all to believe, Sia, that at 8:30 Eastern tonight, you're going to sit down like the rest of us and watch Game 7 with nothing riding on it?
It's a good question. So because I don't know exactly where the Heat are, where Jimmy Butler is, just athletically, just from a rest standpoint, this is one of those games where I actually want to watch maybe the first 5 or 6 minutes, get a feel for how I think this is going to go from an officiating standpoint and everything else, and then maybe fire a live bet.
Oh, so you're saying that there's a really good live bet opportunity tonight?
A propertunity, if you will.
Oh, a propertunity, if you will. And you know exactly where I'm coming to next. Propstarz. Are we fading or are we following the Celtics tonight -7?
Coach, before I hit on that, I do want to actually touch on the total. I do think it's really interesting, 203.5 points. If we look at history, Game 7s typically are very tightly contested and typically stay under 200 points. Oftentimes, it's the first team to 100 points that wins the game. We know from an officiating standpoint, the referees will be very careful not to get players into foul trouble unless fouls are very egregious. 60 free throws combined in Game 6. I do not think we're going to see that repeated in Game 7. I also don't think we're going to see these teams shoot as well as they've been shooting from behind the arc. Both teams have been shooting really well. So I actually like the under quite a bit, despite it opening at 206, coming down to 203, and despite most of these games going over. But that being said, I'm with my cousin Sia here. I like the Heat here. I just think 7 points in a Game 7 with a minuscule total is just too many possessions. We're going to see Jimmy Butler playing the most important game of his career, a legacy-defining game. I think 7 points is a lot. Give me the Heat.
You're not scared of let's just throw this out there for a second. You know, at some point, Boston's going to go on that 8 or 10 point run, and it's going to be going bananas in the arena. It's going to feel like an onslaught. We're not scared of that just a little bit. That could turn into a blowout. Nobody? or to our next person. Now, in the chat, Early Edging Myself says, Buckets still feeling the effects of the EDC conference or event in Vegas. That could be true. Buckets, please enlighten the counselor. Please enlighten Proppy. Are you fading or following the Celtics tonight, sir?
Coach, there is nothing I love more than when the whole gang is all on the same play together. I am also taking Heat on the spread here because if you know one thing about me, it's that I am a big numbers guy, Coach. So when I was looking into this matchup, I saw that this has never happened. A 3-0 comeback is 0-149 in the history of the NBA. It's never happened before. That's a pretty good, pretty good clip there if you're hitting it 0-149. Let's make it 0-150 here, Coach. I think the Heat win outright, but +7, that's too many points to give in a game 7.
My man Buckets diving deep with the numbers, Maestro. That was a very Maestro-esque take right there. You may have taken one of his numbers, Buckets. You could have. Maestro, did he take one of your numbers?
Kind of shocking to hear that coming from Buckets. This total is low for a reason. These guys are gassed. I mean, they are so fatigued. You're talking about two teams playing 7-man rotations. Brogdon is questionable, but they don't trust Kevin Love on the other side to even see the court anymore. Zeller, all those minutes have been bad for the Heat. Jimmy Buckets playing 47, Bam playing 46. It's no wonder they shot 9 of 37. Celtics are also tired, and they're only shooting. They didn't shoot it well from deep last time. So with the total going down, with these guys so fatigued, knowing exactly what the other team is running, I got to take the points with Miami because I do think it'll be a grinder.
Wow. I agree that it's going to be a grinder. I can't believe everybody is on the Heat. I can't believe it. But that's why we discuss it, correct? And we have something else to discuss on the other side of the break. And Buckets, I'm coming directly for you. We are going to vote when we come back and pick the prop. And if you lose the vote, Buckets, you do not want to know what you're going to have to do. But before we do that, the Early Edge takeover on a Memorial Day is in full effect everywhere, including right here.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in tour championship history. We're down to the final 4.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
Maestro, question for you. Are we not very detail-oriented here at the Early Edge, correct?
I think that's kind of our signature.
Kind of our signature. So if somebody makes a public statement on Twitter, do we allow them to walk it back?
Not at all.
Not at all. That's the answer I was looking for. Well, yesterday, one of our crew members decided, because everything was going crazy in the Bundesliga, and we already know the idiot that got a Bayern tattoo because of a bet. Well, guess who now is going to be getting another tattoo? And he's not walking this one back. So yesterday, Buckets put out on Twitter that, how do you say it, Mains, Buckets?
Mines.
If Mines wins, I'm going to get a Mines tattoo because they were huge underdogs. But he never said, was it the draw no bet line or was it the money line? And on the draw no bet line, they were underdogs plus a half. So the game ended in a tie, which means Buckets lost. But now Buckets is trying to tell the world that he meant they had to win on the field. Can we vote? We have 3 people here. Should Buckets get the man's tattoo or not? And this is a serious vote. Buckets, your tattoo, your thigh, is in the hands of our 3 experts here. Raise your hand if you think Buckets has to pay the piper. Oh,
Proppy.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. It's on like Donkey Kong. And somebody in the chat says, can we live stream it? I think that's a fantastic idea. But we're going to work that out. But you, sir, are going to learn a very hard lesson. You're getting that tattoo. You are getting that tattoo. Now, right now, he doesn't know if I'm serious or not. I could not be more serious. You're getting that tattoo. I've told you about that stuff. All right, let's pick the probably likes it. Pick the prop. Here we go. Yordan Alvarez plus 250. The man's a beast. Max Muncy of the Dodgers. How about that game with the Dodgers and the Rays yesterday? Did you see the numbers on the Dodgers and the Rays whenever they scored 10-plus runs? They're like 115-0, 87-0, and they did it to each other. Shohei Ohtani plus 350 for the Angels, who just got swept by the Miami Marlins. What? Counselor, where are we going?
We're going to go to Max Maine's Muncy at plus 300. Here's a guy who's hit 2 home runs over the last 2 games. The wind is blowing out in LA. It's going to be a 9-10 game tonight, Eastern Standard Time, of course, 67 degrees. I just think the conditions are pretty good for a plus 300. Trevor Williams, not a guy that scares me in any particular way. So give me Max Muncy at plus 300.
Okay, we've got one for Max. Probably talk to me.
We're going to go with something called a little bit of a Buckets special here. We've got Shohei Ohtani, one of Buckets' favorite baseball players, facing off against maybe Buckets' favorite pitcher, Michael Kopech. So we've got Michael Kopech and Shohei Ohtani. Kopech's given up 12 home runs. I'll take Ohtani at plus 350.
All right, Buckets. Naturally, we come to you next. Who are you taking today?
How do you not tail Proppy after that? I feel like we have to go for Shohei Ohtani because these are 2 of the only players, the batter and the pitcher, that I know in the whole dang league here, Coach. But also, real quick, I just want to shout out everybody here in the Early Edge family and community because every night I've been getting people tagging me on Twitter saying, Buckets, Jorge Solar just hit another one, and I bet him because of you. I forgot he existed, but I'm glad that he's continuously, apparently, hitting home runs. Good job.
That's the tattoo that Buckets needs, is a Jorge Solar tattoo.
Really is. This next level capping. Somebody's going to walk in today for the very first time and go, what is this? What's this? What are they doing? The guy doesn't even know who he's talking about. Yes, that's what we do here. That's what we do here. All right. Maestro, please get us back on the track. Who are we going with?
Max Muncy, he's coming home. He gets to face Trevor Williams, who's given up 5 homers in his last 18 innings, including 2 to the Padres last time out. He's also 3 out of 5 lifetime against Trevor Williams. Not a homer in there, but he has gone deep in 2 straight. I think it'll be 3 tonight.
All right, very good.
Hey, Coach,
Yep.
I got to interrupt because the chat is right. Max Muncy, Larry and I may have to change our answer because we're not sure if he's going to be active, but it looks like that hamstring might keep him out tonight. I don't have official confirmation on that, but I think he might be getting an MRI, in which case I'm going with Proppy. I'm switching it to, if he's not active, I'm switching it to Shohei.
Okay, so we got 3. What would you do, Maestro, if he's not playing?
I'll ride with Proppy and Ohtani. I appreciate the info.
All right. Hey, chat. That's why you're here. We're a team, a crew for a reason, but you're part of it. Liddy Sims, great show, Coach. I'm educated and entertained. Thank you. On a Monday, everybody else is still in bed, not us. No. But you guys don't come here just for pick the prop. You don't come here just to fade or follow. You come here for the killer picks. Again, yesterday, absolute perfection. But that was yesterday. Today's today. And before we get to that, I've got to pay all these expensive talents. It takes a lot. Here's another word from one of our incredible partners.
All eyes are on Italy
Absolutely astonishing.
as the race to qualify for Europe
Huge moment.
all comes down to the final match day.
It's a goal.
Stream every pivotal Serie A match live on Paramount Plus.
Buckets, you ready for the Serie A end of season? Yes?
I'm very ready. I'm a little bit sad because it's the last time we'll be saying together for a couple months, but that's how it goes.
Is there any big soccer thing coming up, or is it a 2-month break?
We do have, starting July 10th, I believe, the Women's World Cup will be starting up here, Coach.
Oh.
Which covers a lot of this couple-month break here.
Oh, will you and the Silent Assassin and the Guru be doing the Women's World Cup?
Oh, absolutely. We've got the Women's World Cup. We've got the Champions League final. We've got the Europa League final.
Oh.
We got plenty of soccer to keep people busy here, Coach.
Yeah, Europa and Champions League. I believe, I'm not quite sure, but I believe you can catch it all live on Paramount Plus. Synergy. All right, so with that promo out of the way, Buckets, I would love for you to go deep into your bag of tricks and find a game with 2 names that would never make sense for a soccer league to be called these. Can you help me out?
Coach, what are the odds? That's exactly what I have here for the show and for the crew here today. As we say goodbye to another season of the top flights of Europe, this is a time that I like to remind everybody that soccer really is 24/7, 365. Galazzo Network. So what we're going to do is exactly what we've done every day now for the past 2 years, and that's bet on soccer. And one league that I point a lot of people to when you have to say goodbye to things like the EPL and the Bundesliga is the Bolivian Primera Division, because this league is essentially the German Bundesliga on steroids. It is some of the most attack-heavy teams you'll ever see. There's a massive discrepancy between the top 5 and the bottom 5, so these teams just run up the score. And as Coach already mentioned, a lot of these teams' names feel like they were named by your 3-year-old nephew. So with that being said, we've got a matchup between Always Ready and The Strongest this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. These are their actual names. You will not find it under anything else. It is Always Ready playing The Strongest. And we're going with both teams to score and over 2.5 goals here at -110. Because when you look at these two teams, Always Ready and The Strongest, they are two of the best attacking and worst defensive teams in the top 10 in Bolivia. In Always Ready's 12 games so far this season, they have scored in 11 of the 12, while The Strongest have scored in 11 of their 13. And going back at the head-to-head history for the club's history, over the last 13 times they've played, both teams to score has hit in 12, with the over hitting in 11 of them. This is a tremendously active clip, and the rosters have not changed for these two teams over the past 3 years. I expect goals in this afternoon, Coach.
Digging deep, baby. Hashtag educate and entertain. Do you want to do the work? I didn't think so. Buckets, well done. Well done. All right. Now, Sia, when you were going head-to-head with those other great lawyers in your previous life, did you ever think in a million years you would stand in the courtroom and go, Always Ready, The Strongest, both teams to score, over 2.5? But that's the world you live in now, counselor. Embrace it. Let it wash over you.
I mean, that is what I envisioned when I was practicing law and at trial. I thought I got to be somewhere else, and here I am. Destiny.
You're up, sir.
All right, we're going to go. Speaking of destiny, let's keep this first 5 winning streak going. We've got a 1:05 Eastern Standard Time start here with the Orioles first 5 money line, -140 at home versus the Guardians. This -140 you can find on FanDuel. You might see it at -145 at places like DraftKings or perhaps Caesars, but -140 probably going to be the best number you're going to get here. It's Tyler Wells versus Logan Allen. Now, Tyler Wells has been very good this season, but over the last couple games against the Angels and the Yankees, 2 pretty tough matchups, he hasn't been that great. But what do you want when you have to, when your record isn't very good against 2 good hitting teams? You want the Cleveland Guardians, who for the record are terrible against righties, but are also just kind of terrible from a batting standpoint as it is. So on the other side of it, you've got Logan Allen, who his ERA is really good, but if you look at his expected ERA, it's not great. I think there's regression, and we've already seen some regression with Tyler Wells, but I definitely think there's regression in order for Logan Allen. Orioles, by the way, great against lefties. Logan Allen, a lefty. They've got the better bats by far. And by the way, it's a Monday, right? So Cleveland played at home in Cleveland yesterday afternoon. Then they had to fly to Baltimore. Baltimore gets to stay home after their series over the weekend. So I think they have that going for them as well, especially since it's a 1:05 start. That's going to be tough on the traveling team. So give me Tyler Wells. Give me the first 5 -140.
Zach says first 5 Sia leading all of us to the pay window. It's almost ridiculous at this point. I have this one buddy that you guys know he's always blows my phone up anyway, but now he's making so much money off of first 5 Sia. He has to text me every time that Sia hits a pick. Every single day. So you know who you are. Stop texting me. Stop texting me. Sia, you know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. All right. Proppy. All of the analysis we got on Game 7 tonight, particularly what Maestro said about being a grinded out game and possession by possession. Would your pick lead into that narrative as well?
It certainly would, Coach. We are going to go full on contrarian. I assure you this is not for the faint of heart. We're going to fade Jason Tatum under 48.5 combined points, rebounds, and assists. This is a massive line for Tatum, particularly in a Game 7, particularly in a game with a 203-point anemic total. Typically, Tatum's PRA line is somewhere between 42 and 44.5. Massively inflated. Emphasis on inflated here. Averaging 43 PRA in this series. Held under this line in 4 of 6 games against Miami. If we look at his history in elimination games, been under 49 PRA in 14 of 17 elimination games, including 5 of 6 Game 7s. The only time he went over was against the Sixers, where he had that 50-point outburst. This is just a number that's typically reserved for Giannis, who obviously averages close to 25 combined rebounds and assists, or Nikola Jokic, not Jason Tatum. He's obviously capable of scoring 40-plus points here and going over, but this line is just too big. Easy fade for me here, Coach.
I tell you what, I can envision what this game is going to look like. I love the under, and I love what Maestro said. It's just going to be like pulling teeth. Like every bucket is going to be a struggle. Every bucket is going to be a struggle. Proppy, well done. Do you want to do all that work that he just did? I didn't think so. I was almost going to ask Buckets if he knew what PRA was, but I didn't want to completely halt the show. All right, Maestro, we have arrived. And for those people who are just trying us out, this is called the Maestro Spot for a reason, because he's been here since day freaking one, December 2020. We have not missed one single day, not one. And we don't intend to, because that's just what we do. We are leaders, not followers. So, Maestro, if you don't mind, lead me to the pay window, sir. What do we got today?
I got two MLB props I really love. Both guys crush left-handed pitching. I'll start with Josh Young of the Rangers facing Matthew Boyd of the Tigers, who gives up an OPS of over 800 to right-handed batters. And Josh Young, technically a rookie, but he played some at the end of last year, and his splits are just dramatic since last year and this year. His OPS 1040 against left-handed pitching. So in the middle of that potent lineup, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for the Texas Rangers, who are on the road. Will get the extra at bat. It's juicy at -145, but I just love Josh Young today. His hard hit percentile in the 88th percentile. The barrel rate also in the 80s. This guy, when he hits it hard. He does swing and miss a lot, but I think we'll get there today. And then later on, Wilmer Flores. This guy not hitting at all for the Giants, 196 this month. But one thing he can do is hit lefties. And he's facing the old Rich Hill, and he has a very good track record against lefty Rich Hill, 5 of 14 with 5 extra base hits. And remember, last year, Wilmer Flores had about 50 extra base hits. He had a really good season, so I think this is a great spot for him. He's still hitting lefties well. He doesn't play all the time, but he will definitely be in the lineup today. Over 1.5 total bases, that's coming back at +115. The thing you have to worry about is when the reliever comes in, they may pinch hit for him. He's got 61 at-bats versus lefties and 61 versus righties, so we want to get this in the first 2 at-bats.
All right, remember, 7 games prior to 6 p.m. Eastern tonight, 4 games after 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Don't get shut out. Maestro, incredible information. Thank you very much. Now, grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, and do not forget, we will be live today. I will be in this seat today at 4 p.m. Eastern time for Early Edge in 5. Again, we do it for you. Any other betting show doing 2 shows on Memorial Day? I'll make that answer for you. Maestro, Josh Young, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -145. Little juicy, like you said, but Maestro, sometimes the juice.
It's worth the squeeze.
You're damn right it is. Today is one of those days. Wilmer Flores, over 1.5 total bases, +115. My man, Proppy, Jason Tatum. Easy fade, he said. Easy fade. 48.5. Let's go under that. Points, rebounds, and assists. Then the counselor. First 5 Sia showing up in full effect. Orioles, first 5 money line, -140. Then Buckets. That is not a typo. It is always ready and the strongest. Both teams to score and to go over 2.5 goals. So it's got to be like at least 2 to 1. At least 2 to 1 for you to cash. But you're going to cash because that's what Buckets does. Damn it, I love doing this so much. So today, I know you're going to be out at the beach. You're going to be hanging out with your family. Pay it forward. Be in the moment. Be present. But then tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, tell them all, stay away. Leave me alone. We got a Game 7 to watch. There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets, just like we did yesterday with every single one, straight to the pay window. For my Tucker level, Maestro, Counselor, Proppy, Buckets, and the Snake, always behind the scenes. Cannot do it without him. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on the track. We grind for you so we can win with you. Have a great Memorial Day. It's what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.